Hello, Chase Wilson here, Senior Consultant at Sterling. So I was doing this segment on cash flow, and one of the points was time management. Quite a few questions came up on time management, so I'm doing a series just on time management. And we talked about, here I'm talking about categorization. How do you categorize? What does it mean to categorize? Now, before I get into this, I'm going to define something, and it's a hat, right? Everyone has several different hats they wear. It's a hat. A hat would be defined as a function, an activity, a job, a post. You have that hat, right? So if you look at your life, you have the hat of driving a car. You have the hat of doing your job. You have the hat of paying your bills. All those different things are hats. Taking care of your house. If you have an animal, there's an additional hat. You have quite a few hats, okay? And I look at a lot of people's what we call battle plans. That's a list of actions to get done. It's a battle plan. When I look at people's battle plans or to-do lists, I see this great big long list that always gets added to. And it just seems confusing and it's overwhelming. Anyone here have any overwhelming lists? Right? You don't even make a list because it just comes overwhelming. So it doesn't even bother. It's just going to go on the bottom of the list and add to it. Well, that's because you have not categorized. You need to categorize each hat. Each hat you have has its own functions, has its own actions, has its own time, and they should have its own schedule. We talked about in the last video. You need to schedule that hat. If you're not getting it done, chances are it's not in your schedule. So when I look, let's say I have 200 things to do, right? And that's not unreal. Your average person on earth has 13 and a half days of incomplete actions, right? So you have a lot of things to do. If you categorize it and you put, let's just say your work hat. Good, this is the things I need to get for at work, whether you're a doctor, an accountant, a business owner, whatever you're doing, you categorize that. Next, you categorize your personal life, right? And you categorize, let's say, your car, whatever actions you want to get done, hobbies. If you don't have it categorized, it's going to just get overwhelmed and mixed with other things. Now, the other key is when you're working on something, just do that. Don't start multitasking. You're not going to get it done. You're going to make mistakes. And then you're going to have to redo it, and that wastes time. So when you're working on this hat, just do this. And I recommend different baskets for different hats. You come to my house, I have different baskets and different piles and different categories for each of my different hats so they don't get all mixed up. And then I find when I'm wearing that hat, I get far more done. I make far more progress. And that's very important for time management. You only have so much time. If you categorize it and you actually list what needs to get done and you schedule it, you will get more done. All right, so that's what I recommend on categorizing. Have the different hats separated. Take your to-do list and separate it. Here's what I'd like to know from you. What are the different hats that you wear? Right? What are the different hats that you wear? I'd like to know that, and I'd like to know what problems you run into and which hat is the most difficult, and I'll tell you why. We're going to cover this in a later video, but if that area is difficult for you, chances are it's not organized, and two, you might have someone in that area stopping you from doing that hat, right? Those interruptions, it could be someone doesn't want you to get that done. There's various reasons why, but we'll get more into that. All right, let me know in the comments. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.